saying out, and someone is saying out it is like it is an art, and someone is saying out it is a science. So that uh, the ways have to be in a clear deformative way. The both in these the fight in the five different ways, and in the art we could see that in the four different ways have been done, and we could see that in uh, the scope of financial administration. We could see that the public sector organization. The public sector organization PSUs are managed with the government funds and to do business to make a profit so that it can be used for the welfare of the citizens. And the financial administration ensures that the PSUs are run smoothly without any inefficiencies. And I could see that and the scope of public revenue. Financial administration make the procedures and process to collect revenue through tax and non-tax channels, and revenue is one of the most important to achieve economic development and growth. For example, in the present context, you could see that SDG goals. Uh, it's like 17 SDG goals that have been developed because to check the parameters whether the government has been making the things happen in a clear way. So that in that context, the SDGs have been developed by given a target of year 2030. Then in that the India is ranked about very low. So that to increase the revenue to meet the demand. And in the public expenditure, you could see that the government have the responsibility to spend on accomplishing the developmental goals with accumulated public revenue to do so. It has to ensure that the budgeting process is carried out according to the mandatory process by the legislature. Uh, so no amount of money can be spent without the legal allocation or be left unspent with a justifiable cause. So that in the public, because when it is the government is not the individual one, it is a public one, where the public has to take care and public has to give the money and the people because we the people have been paying the taxes from our hard-earned money, so that the government runs efficiently, so that all the facilities and all the things have to be done and taken care of. And in the legislative control, we could see that every year the budget has been announced at the in the March, so that what are the areas in this financial year the government is going to spend. The public expenditure subjected to legislative controls with its parliamentary committees. In India, there is major committees called Public Account Committee, Estimates Committee, and the Committee on Public Sector Undertakings, which exercise control over the justified use of public funds and ensure that no misappropriates take care. Because we could see that the discussion about the committee in detail in subsequent units in the course. And you could see that the resource mobilization, the funds which are available, where what level it has been available, and the financial administration take care that the resources required for developmental funds are mobilized through proper management of the PSUs and revenue collection. The environment must be made conducive to increase the opportunities of business to reap more benefits and subsequently more revenue. And the additional revenue can be used for better facility and social and physical infrastructure. In the form of this is the resource mobilization, and you could see that in accounting and auditing, the financial administration deals in the accounting of the items on which the public funds were spent to ensure that the appropriate funds were utilized on the purpose specific fund. And after the procedure of accounting is completed, the Controller and Auditor General of India, it's called COG, conducts the audit of accounts and certain that there has been misappropriation. And I could see that very recently we could see that here that ease of doing business, where the government is responsible for making the doing the for the making the business very easily in the market economy, so that the nation economic growth increases in the global market, and the e-commerce growth requires the fiscal and monetary policies to accommodate new methods of business, and financial administration has the responsibility to build up an environment without any constraint that hinder economic growth. And this is about the scope which we have been discussed so far, and we could see that the importance of financial administration, because importance is one of the another area of the financial administration in the introduction. And you could see that the economic activity and the adjustment of public expenditure to national income, administration of the government machinery and operating systems and national objectives and socio-economic elevation and reduction of wastage and resource generation, public debt and public borrowings and fiscal policy. And these are the in detailed topics that will be covered in context of importance. In the economic activity, we could see that the financial sector in a nation is the most important sector in an economy. Financial administration take care of the finance the country and generating sufficient proportions to promote and sustain the economy. Because economic activity if doesn't take care, doesn't happen, no business will grow. If no business is done, then no one will be paying the taxes. Now, if no one will be paying, then how the government will be getting the money? So that in that economic activity that should be taken care of. And adjustment of public expenditure to national income. Because with the growth in the activities of the government, there is a need to adjust the ratio of public expenditure to national income, which is done by the public financial administration. And the administration of the government machinery. The government need funds to deliver needs the funds to deliver good governance, which also requires sound administration of finances. Funds are needed to pay salaries of the personnel and run the office of the government department and agencies and their programs and their projects. And the operating system. In the operating system must work efficiently to get work done with the economy, and every decision is an agency as financial repercussions, which calls for wise financial administration. And and it is like it has to meet like national objectives. Every government has defined objectives to be achieved in alignment with its policies. Such objectives can be accomplished only if they have been backed by funds with increased plan outlays. Hence, financial administration facilitates the achievement of target of the government. So that socio-economic elevation. As more national objectives are involved, developmental works help in elevating the socio-economic status of the people. They will be able to have a better standard of living. And you could see that in the reduction of wages. The financial administration use various tools of materials to management to reduce the wastage of funds and resources so that the wastage should be shortened out. And for the resource generation, it is like sound administration of government finance leads to generation of internal and external resources.
Sir, sir. Sir? Sir?
Ah, Shravya. Hello. Am I audible? వినిపిస్తుందా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. సో దట్ మనము వేసే రిడక్షన్ దగ్గర మాట్లాడుతున్నాం. అండ్ ఇన్ దట్ రిసోర్స్ జనరేషన్ I could see that sound administration of government finance leads to generation of internal and external resources. ఎందుకంటే గవర్నమెంట్ బాగా ఫంక్షన్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు you could see that whenever the government runs the functionality, the internal resource will be built up. ఎందుకంటే చూస్తే మన బిజినెస్ కూడా పెరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది, జనాలు డబ్బులు ఖర్చు పెడతా ఉంటారు, అండ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్ విల్ బి టేకింగ్ అవుట్. సో దాట్ ఇన్ దిస్ మన విల్ బి టేకెన్ అండ్ ద పబ్లిక్ డెట్ అండ్ పబ్లిc borrowing. And the financial administration deals with public debt and borrowing methodly so that it remains within means and do not destabilize the economy. And the mismanagement of debt and borrowing leads to an unstable market, giving rise to inflation and weak policy economy. And in the fiscal policy, it is like policy, and it is like government has to give a certain policy to spend money to create more employment and more controlling prices and promoting foreign direct investments and balancing the payments that have been taken out. And in the principles, as we have to discuss, the unity of the organization and the legislative control and the political direction and the principle of correspondence and the primary of primacy of public interest and public choice and public policy and the stability and balance and awareness, accountability and flexibility has to be taken care of. In this area, we will be detailing, we'll be discussing in detail about the principles. In that, the unity of organization, the efficiency of government agencies in the execution of policies can be improved through a unified budgeting process. This also involve the principle of coordination so that there is no duplication of work and wastage of physical, financial, and human resources. And the principle of centralization also works. Uh, the principle of we could see that the principle of the centralization also works with the unity of organization. The more centralized is the agency, according to PJJ Pinto, the more it is efficient. Uh, and the decision making may be decentralized so that the localized problem can be considered to achieve optimum productivity and utility. In this manner, we'll be discussing out. And in the legislative control, the parliament will control, exercise the legislative control over the formation and execution of the plan through the Appropriation Act and the Financial Act and monetary policy and other fiscal policies and measures, and audit by the controller and the auditor general services as a tool to monitor the financial activities and the political direction. The financial administration is a branch of public administration and has to align itself to the political economy of a nation. The population in developing countries lives in abject poverty without basic necessities for which the government formed the policies and the plans to ensure inclusive development, and the financial administration must facilitate the national objectives to cater to the socio-economic problems of the people. The principle of correspondence. The principle of correspondence means that there must be equivalence between the objectives and functions of financial administration. The executives and officials who have the ultimate responsibility of carrying out the activities of financial administration must be given proper training. In the age of information and technology, the personnel must be imparted training to enable them to use the latest technologies. The designation of the government departments and agencies necessitates the officials to be not only conversant but also be experts to achieve the objectives in the short time possible. And in the primacy of public interest, public choice, and public policy, the economic problems need to be studied with the public choice theory with the help of modern economic mechanisms. The public choice theory focus on the attitudes and the behavior of the politician and the government officials and claims that have been worked for self-interest and their social interaction with the citizens and the functioning as government officials and elected representative is analyzed by the public choice theorists. And the theory is premised in the positive analysis but is often used for normative purposes to determine a problem. It can highlight the behavioral problems of the people in power and who hold authority and public interest can be included in them. And public policy must include the base of public interest as a prime factor which focus on public choice in their formulation. The stability and balance. The human resource development is essential for financial administration to achieve stability and balance. And the capacity building is a subsequent need to implement the plans and the programs of the government and building stable and balanced personal resources in effectiveness, efficiency, and economy. And you could see that the awareness and this accountability. The government has the power and the authority. It is the electorate in the democracy that has the real power. There must be awareness among the citizens of the electoral procedures and their fundamental rights to hold the elected representatives accountable. And aware and alert citizens will be able to make the right choice by exercising his or her voting and capable of evaluate the government and administrative performance. It enables the voter to comprehend and evaluate the government to choose the candidate. And financial administration must be flexible so that plans and the projects can be modified to suit the ever-changing socio-economic needs of the people. Now, in these areas, we could see that we have been discussed about the principles. We have been discussed about the financial administration importance, and we have discussed about the scope, and we have been discussed about the introduction nature and the introduction, and whether it is science or art. In these areas, like last we could see that microfinance credit, it is a low amount credit being interest giving to micro entrepreneurs who are into income generating activities and who do not have access to traditional banking services. And in the national income, it is a sum total of value of the goods and services manufactured by the residents of the country during a financial year. It is a net result of all economic activity of the country during 1 year. And in the political economy, it refers to the international interrelationship between politics and economy. And in the public choice theory, it is a public choice theory focused on the people decision making process of the political realm. And the politicians and bureaucrats are said to be motivated by the self interest in decision making. This has been propounded by Niskan and Buchans and others. And in this area, we had been discussed about the nature, importance, scope, and and the principles of the financial administration. Shravya, if you have any doubt,
No, no, sir.
please let me know. If you have any doubts, please let me know so that I'll
No, sir.
help you out.
No,
Okay. These are the clear the day to day. I'll be discussing about the regulation of the financial administration. units, so that day-to-day will be completing it out in this manner. The day-to-day will be discussing about multiple things. Just to explain you the syllabus. Have you received your books,
Yes, sir.
Shravya? Have you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope you had understood my session. Okay, in the unit two, budget meaning principles and types. And the third unit, process of budget preparation and enactment and execution. This will be the first chapter, first block. And agencies of financial management will be the second. Organization and functioning of financial ministry and parliamentary committees. Okay, okay, Shravya, thank you. If you have any doubts, please reach me out.
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.